Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to the 2 weeks web development bootcamp. And today happens to be the sixth day of the web development bootcamp. So if you are watching this video for the first time or if you are new to my YouTube channel, please subscribe, hit on the button to subscribe to my YouTube channel before you continue this video. Thank you. All right. So in our last class, we talked extensively on CSS box model, and we also looked at other CSS properties as well. So today we are going to be looking at pseudo class, pseudo class, and pseudo element. We're going to look at pseudo class and pseudo element. Afterwards, we're going to look at layouts, positioning, transition, and transform. So these are the things we are going to be looking at today. So you can see we are really behind schedule. So layout and position, transition, and transform is supposed to be class 6. You get that now. So we have to be very fast. All right. So let's look at pseudo class and pseudo element selector. Pseudo class and pseudo element selector. So let's proceed. So go to your Visual Studio Code. So right now I'm going to create a folder. I'll call it class 6 folder. Class 6 folder. So by now I believe you should be able to open folder in Visual Studio Code. Alright, so here I'm going to create a new file. I'm just going to call it pseudo.html. Yeah. So I generate an HTML boilerplate. So I'll call this pseudo classes and elements. Let me do this. CSS pseudo class and element. Alright, good. So let's look at what exactly is pseudo classes and pseudo elements. So here it says in CSS, pseudo classes and pseudo elements are used to style elements based on specific conditions or to target parts of an element without adding extra HTML. Let me read that again. In CSS, pseudo classes and pseudo elements are used to style hold on. In CSS, pseudo classes and pseudo elements are used to style elements based on specific conditions or to target parts of an element without adding extra HTML. So let's look at pseudo classes. A pseudo class defines a special state of an element. It defines a special state of an element. It is used to apply styles based on user interaction. So please take note. Take note. A pseudo class defines a special state of an element, the state of an element. So it is used to apply styles. So pseudo class now is used to apply styles based on user interaction, element position, or other conditions that cannot be determined using regular word selector. That cannot be determined using regular selector. Take for example now a button. The state of a button before it was clicked is different from the state of a button after it has been clicked. You get that now? So we can apply a styling based on user interaction on the button. We can apply styling to the button before it has been clicked and after, and also apply a styling after it has been what, clicked. You get that now? So let's look at that. There are several pseudo class selectors we are going to look at here, such as over, focus, nth-child, and all. We're going to look at all of these today. So this is how to specify. This is the syntax for a pseudo class. Pseudo class, just the selector, then double. Yeah, I think yes, double column. So yeah, let's look at something very simple here. So let's say I want to let me use hmm, let's use let's just do, hi guys, my name is Joshua. Joshua. I'm a full stack web developer and also web developer, coding instructor, and a YouTuber. A YouTuber. So I love coding and of teaching other people coding. And let's do another one. Let's do another paragraph here. Now say p tag. I say to to learn more about me. Okay, to learn more about web development, you can check my YouTube channel. So this part here, check my YouTube channel. This YouTube channel, I'm going to cut it. I'm going to make it a link. So I paste it here. So all this shouldn't be strange to you guys. So this is what I'm going to do. Um. Okay, hold on. Let me quickly grab the link. All right. So I'm going to paste it here. So I save. So I'll call me. I'll right click and open. Put in my browser. Yeah. So this is what we have here. So can you see? So this is it here. So apparently I've not clicked this yet. So let's say for example I want to give this a particular color when the link has not been clicked. So the link now is in a state whereby it has not been clicked. So I can give it a particular color for that. Or I can also do this. Okay. Let me come to the style tag. I will do this. Come to the style tag. So let's say I'm going to select the link. Please hold on. All right. So there's something I want to show you. I want a situation where when I hover on the button, sorry, when I hover on this link, I want it to have a different color. So, but before then, let me just give this a class of, okay, let's do it here. Let me give it a class of um YouTube underscore link. So this is just this two underscore YouTube two underscore the link. So I'm going to come here. I'll select it here. I'll do dot YouTube underscore then link then this. So if I do, I can change the color here. I can do okay color to be blue. Maybe probably I want the blue to have, I don't want it to be really I want to give it a shade of blue, something here. Let me over on it. I don't want RGBA, so I'll just click this part. I'll click here. It's going to get me the hexadecimal code. So if I come here, let's see, can you see? It's different now. It's different. It's different. If I click on it, it will take me to my YouTube channel. So let me go back. So you can see this is still the color. All right, let me accept this person. All right. Now we gave you the color of this a shade of blue, and look at what we are getting here. So even though I click on this, the color will still not what change. You get that now? The color will not change. So let's say I want to be able to target the link. Let's say, for example, if the link has not been clicked yet, I should be able to give it. I will do something like double column. Then we have link here. See that now? Let me over on it. You will see. So we have link here. If I save and I look at what we have, it will still give me this. Can you see? It's giving me this color. Meanwhile, that's not the color we have here. So the reason why we can't see this color, it is because this link has been what clicked. So since the link has been clicked, it's giving us a different color. You hear that now? It's giving us a different color. But now we can we can give a different styling to different state of the button of this link. So there's a color for when the link has not been clicked. There's also a color for when the link has been what clicked. So apparently this is the color for when the link what has been clicked. So now I'm going to change the color. So how do I change it? I'll come here, I'll do dot YouTube link, then I'll do double column. That's a double column simply means you want to apply a pseudo class to a selector. So double column. Then I'll do something like I think visited. Yeah, it is called visited. So I want to give it a color of, let's say, um yellow. So let me look for a shade of yellow here. Uh, let me look for a shade of yellow. Oh, okay. And make it hexadecimal. So if I save this now, look at what we are going to get. We are getting, can you see, a shade of yellow? So it means that this is the state that this is the what do you call it? The color I want for when the link has been what clicked. So click there means when the link has been visited, it has been clicked. So there's also a part, and I'm also going to show you that when you click on the link, the moment you click on it, it will give you a color. If you okay, it's not showing here, but I want a situation where when I click on the link, I want to be able to have a different color. There's a now I'm trying to style the link based on different state, based on the state of the link, based on different user interactions. So there's a state where the link has not been clicked. I want to give it a different color for that. And there's a state where the link has been visited, meaning it has been clicked. I want to give it a color for that. And there's a state whereby when I click on the link, when I click on it, there's a state where we call it, I think, active, meaning the link is active. When you click on it, it means it is active. So it's just going to show that link, it's going to show that color briefly before it goes to what the visited color. So now look at what we have. Let me show you. So I'm going to make this active. Yes, active. So now I'll do a color of let's see this. And I don't want this one. Let me do red. So, but I'm going to look for a shade of red here. All right. So now watch. Okay, let me make these targets um underscore blank. I'm sure you should know the meaning of this. So if you come here now, if I click, just observe. If I click on this button, it's going to show that red. It's going to show this. It's going to show that red color briefly. Can you see that? You can see that briefly. That is what active means. That the button is in its active state. Once you click on it, it's going to show that color briefly. And now I also want a situation whereby when I over on this link here, I should be able to have a color. I want to give it a color. I want to give this text a color when I over on it. I want to give the text a color when I over on it. So let's do it together. So yeah, I'll come here and I'll do dot YouTube link. Then I'll say over. So what color do I want to give it when I over on it? So let's say I want to give it I don't want this. I want to give it um green. Yeah. What a different color combination. So let me give it this. Let me use hexadecimal code. Okay, now watch. So now when I hover on the link now, can you see? You are seeing this shade of green color. And I hover on it. Fantastic. When I hover on it, and when I click on it, it will show that red color briefly. Let me show you. Okay, we couldn't see it anymore. If I click on it, it's supposed to show, but we couldn't see it anymore. Why? Probably because the over color has override the active state. All right, so that's that about. Okay, that's not all. Let's go back to our notes. Where is it? So you see, we've looked at over. So over simply means it targets an element when the user hovers over it. Then we also have focus. Targets an element when it gains focus. So this is for input. This is for input. This is for input. So let's look for let's do one input this thing here. So I'm just going to do a div, and I'll just do some like input with type of text, and I'll give it a placeholder instead of a label. I'll just say enter uh, enter your full name or your name. Enter your name. So if you save now, let's see what we're going to get, and let's do also a button. Oh, it's not needed. So if you style this, let's see what we have here. So look at what we have here. Enter your name. Can you see the styling? So if I click on it, it means that the button is in its focus state. If I click on it, it means that the button, sorry, the input, the input element is in its focus state. When I click on the input, it shows that it's in its focus state. How do I know? It's because of this outline that I'm seeing that is showing here at the border area. This outline. If I click outside of the input, you see that now. You can see this border area, the default border line or border that comes with what the input. If I click on the input now, it shows that it's in its what focus state. You're about to do something. So let's see how we can style that. So I will come here, I will do okay, let me just give it should I give it a class, or let's just leave it like this. I'll just say let me give the div a class of input container. Input container. Then I'm going to come here, I will do dot input. So of course by now you should know how to select element by its class name or class value. So now I can choose to, since I want probably now this is what we want to do. When I click on this button, oh sorry, why am I always saying button? Oh god. When I click on the input, you see this outline that is shown here, that it which indicates that the input is in its focus state. So we can change the styling. We can say okay, we don't want that, so we can do something like input container, that's a selector, then over, sorry, double column, then focus, then probably can give this can say okay, border, sorry, I think outline, can say outline to be what, none. So you don't want that outline. Maybe probably the outline is annoying to you. So you don't want that. So you can do something like this. So if I click on this now, okay, we are still seeing the outline. Let's see. Reason. Okay, let me make it border instead of outline. Let me make it border. So let's see. Oh, my bad. I was selecting the container. That means I was selecting the div. I was supposed to select the input that is inside of the div. So this is what I'm going to do. I'll set so now I have the I'll select the container, then followed by what the input. I'll just do input here. So I'll do a type or element selector. So let's see if we are going to get a different result now. So if I click on this now, can you see? I click on this, it's in its focus state, but we can't see the outline anymore. You see that now? We can't see the outline anymore. You get that now? We can't see the outline anymore. So, but you can decide to say, okay, I want I want a different styling. Probably I want a border color of this green. So whenever I click on the input, I want to have a border color different from this border color here. So if I click on it, can you see? You see this now? Nice. If you look at, see that? Nice. You see? Nice. So I can also probably come here. I can give it so I will select the input first. I can give it a border of probably a border of um, let's do something. Okay, let's do 2 pixel solid and probably give it this. Let's see. No, 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 I don't want this. Or let's give it a gray color. Yes, but let me look for a shade of gray here. Yeah. So if I save this, let's see what we're going to get. Look at what we have now. So you see, can you see that now? I can style it a bit. Where is it? Let me also add padding to the input. I can do padding top and bottom. Let's say 10 pixel top and left and right 20 pixel. I can also do a border radius. So what's the meaning of border radius? Border radius um border radius is used to define the outer border edge. So now let's say for example if you want the border edge of this to be a bit curve or to be curved instead of being sharp like this. Look at the vertex point of the border. If you want it to be curved, you can use border radius and give it, let's say you can give it a value from 1 to whatever value. So you can do 10 pixel like this. And if you look at what we have here now, can you see? Making sense. And you can say, okay, let me make it 20 pixel. And you can also use different unit too. Aside from pixel, you can use percentage. So I think the only time you should use percentage is when you want to have a complete circle. So let's say for example you have a div that you want to make as a circle. So you can come here. So if you do dot circle for instance, and you give it a defined width of 200 pixel and a defined height of 200 pixel, and you give it a border of 2 pixel solid, and let's use this green here. So if you save, look at what we have. Or let's make it as background color. So if you save this, look at what we have here. Can you see? This is what we have here. So let me take it down a bit. So I'll just do margin top 30 pixels. So it's going to take it 30 pixels from the top. So now look at what we have. Good. So now if I want to make this to be completely circle, like to be circle. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do border radius. I'll do border radius to be what 50%. Once I do 50%, you see what we have here. Can you see it's completely what circle? You see that now? Completely circle. So you only use border radius 50% when you want to do this. And also you can even style it also. If you don't want it to be completely circle, you can say okay, because for border radius, we are looking at the four vertex points: the top left corner, the top right corner, the bottom right corner, and the bottom left corner. So that's what it means. So let me write it here. Where is it? So for border radius, so let me show you the arrangement. So it is top left space, top right space, then bottom, yeah, like this. So probably if you want to give it a different value, so you can use this. So if you come here, let's say I want top left to be 10 pixel, 10 pixel, top right, and I want bottom 10 pixel, 20 pixel. So if you save, let's see what we are going to get. Now, can you see that? Can you see? Good, good. All right. So if you want the top, if you want the what do you call this now? Top left, top right to be 50%, and bottom right to also be 50%, and bottom left to be 10 pixel. So let's see what we are going to get. Can you see what we are getting here? You see that now? Nice. Good. I think I like this. So all right, so you can play around with it, play around with it. So let me just make it 50%. Make it 50%. Don't worry, when we get to responsive design, we are going to look in details into units like rem, absolute and relative units like rem, percentage. You get that? Viewport width and viewport height, maximum maximum width and maximum height, minimum width and minimum height. So we're going to look at that. So I think I can comment this. I've made my point clear. Okay, let me comment it from here. All right, so once I comment, you see it will not show here anymore. All right, so now look at the input here. I style the input. Look at I style the input. First of all, I give it a border of 2 pixels solid than this color, because the thing is, once an input already have a defined styling, so you can alter the styling. You can decide to follow the default styling or alter the styling or change the styling and give it your own different style, your own personal styling. You get that now? So look at what we have here. So this my own personal styling, 2 pixels solid, and this color, a padding of 10 pixel top and bottom, 20 pixel left and right, then a border radius of 20 pixel. So when I click on the input, I want the border color to change, but I still want the border to still have a border width of 2 pixel and the border style to be solid. The only thing I want to change is what? The border color. I want the border color to be what? This color. You get that now? I want it to be this color. And if I save now and come here, can you see? Look at the color here. Nice. So it means that it is in its focus what state. All right. So that's that about focus. So let's look at other aspect to like nth child. So this nth child, if you remember, we talked about it when we were doing the table project. The table project. So, and I said I was going to explain it in details when next I'm going to be treating pseudo-class selector and pseudo-element selector. So, the end child targets elements based on their position in the parent. So now let's say for example, I have let's say I have a UL and I have a list here. Let's just say, what should we give it now? Okay, let me just do HTML, CSS, JavaScript. And let's do one more. Okay, let's do let's do tailwind. Yeah, let's do tailwind. Let's do React JS. Mm, let's do Node.js. Then li, let's do Python. Li, let's do PHP. So good. So if you save, look at what we have here. All right, good. So if you use your pesticide, so you see that apparently the UL and the LI also have a default um padding, a preset padding and margin for it. But the thing is, what if I want to remove this bullet point? Let's say I don't like the bullet point. I want to remove the bullet point. Or if you are not using on ordered list, if you are using ordered list and you want to remove the number character, so if you want to remove the number character, you want to remove the bullet point, how can we remove that? It is very simple, guys. So all you just have to do is either you select the UL tag or you select the LI tag. So I'm just going to do it here. I'll come here. I can either select the UL tag or the LI tag, and I'll just do a list style. So it has, so you can either use list style or you can use this property called list style type. So the list style type. So it's, can you see what it's giving us here? It's giving us um whatever this name is that circle is giving us different thing here. So let's see which one. Let's see the one we are going to. So we can, let us play. You can play around with this anyways. That's not our focus. So while you're watching this video, you can play around with all of these values. So in order not to waste our time, let me just change it. Let me make it none because I don't want to see the bullet points. I'll make it none. So if I save and you come here, now look at, you can't see the bullet point anymore. But though, look at where the list is starting. The list of these items. Look at where it's starting. It's supposed to start at the end, like this part here. But the reason is because it has what, a padding. It has a padding. Can you see? It has a padding left. So what are we going to do? I can come to the UL and give it what, padding to be what, is zero. Or better still, I can come to the style tag and do what we call universal reset. So I'll just do margin. Of course, I know you see, I'm sure you remember this. If you have been following my videos on this 2 weeks bootcamp, you should be able to, you should remember this particular part. So if you don't know this, please go back to, I think the last class, that's day 5 or day 4. I think it's day 5. So that you'll be able to understand this. So if I save now, where is it? Now look at, we've removed all the padding, everything. Can you see everything is uh-huh. So all right, good. So let me take this let me shift it a bit. Or okay, since everything is just squashed on each other, let me shift it a bit. So I'll select the UL. Okay, it has been selected already. So I'll just do margin. So margin top, I want it to be 40 pixel. Then left and right also to be 40 pixels. So I want everything all around to be 40 pixel. So now let's look at what we have here. So good. So I also want a spacing. So li, because we notice the list, they are almost close to each other. So I want to space them out. You get, I want to space them out. So to space them out, I'll select the list itself. So the list, so whatever styling I'm going to or whatever CSS rule I'm going to apply to this list is going to affect all the list that is under this word UL. So what I'm just interested in is just to do margin bottom. So I do margin bottom 10 pixels so that there can be space from one list to, can you see there's a space here now. So that means this list, this first list have a match has a margin bottom of 10 pixel, this one 10 pixel, 10 pixel, even to the last list. The last list to also have a margin bottom of 10 pixel, but there's nothing under it here. So if you use your pesticide, you will see it has a margin bottom of 10 pixel too as well. So anyways, let's proceed. So now we have been able to gap this. So now how can we select this one after the other? Because if we want to, okay, all right. Okay, Felicia, you have a question?
Yes.
So what's your question?
My question is, those lines that are doing looking like those holding those writing, is it writing book that we primary school student? Those lines, how are you getting them?
These lines like this. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So I think in the beginning of the boot camp, I did say that you guys should download pesticide. So you go to, okay, let me just show you again. So if you are using Chrome now, of course, I think it's pesticide is on all browsers, but I'm using Chrome, so just go to Chrome Web Store. Go to chromewebstore.google.com, then search for pesticide. Search for pesticide for Chrome. Whichever one, you can either use pesticide for Chrome or pesticide for Chrome without over. Just click on it. So I've installed mine. Your own, once you if you just click on it to install yours too as well, or to add to the extension. So once you add it to extension, you can pin it in this bar here. All right, so that's that.
Okay,
Yeah.
no problem. But you just go to browser straight, or is it when you're on VS Code, or just your normal
No,
browser?
go to your browser straight. Your laptop now. Once you open your laptop,
Uh,
you go to your browser, your Chrome browser straight. You don't have to open your Visual Studio Code before you can download that. You get that now.
okay.
So, all right, all right. Let's move on. Um, Now I want to be able to style this separately or differently. So to be able to style this, to style each of these lists differently, if yes, without pseudo class selector, if I'm going to style the list items or the individual list here separately, I will have to either give each of the list a class name or a class attribute or an ID attribute, or whichever way I'm going to do it, which is might be very stressful. So with the help of um, pseudo class selector, we have this property here that is called nth-child. So this targets the elements based on their position in the parent. So this n there i- is represent the position of the element that you are trying to target in the parent. So now, what's the parent of Li? The parent of Li is what? Ul. So all the Li's here, their parent is what? Ul. You get that now? So now I can come here and say, okay, I want to style, I'll do Li, then double column, end child. So this end child now I have to specify which of the Li do I want to select. So I want to select the first Li. So I'll do this. And I say, okay, I want to give it a color. I want to give it a color of this. So if I save this now, look at what we have here. Can you see it's having a different color from the rest of the list? So you can do the same thing too for three, for five. You can continue like that. You see that now. And also you can do something like odd numbers, like you want to select all the odd list, you know, odd numbers and numbers that are one divided by two will give you what? A remainder. So you see that now. So you want to get odd numbers. So if you save that and look at, so the first list, third list, fifth, and what? Seventh. You see that? First, third, fifth, and what? Seventh. So you're selecting all the odd list out of it, out of the list. So if we do even now, for instance, even, and you save, look at what we have here. Can you see the even list? So which is this? Two, four, six, and what? Eight. And also, aside from that, you can also be dynamic with it. Aside from odd and even number, you can say, okay, I want to do something like 3n minus what? 1. So what does this simply mean here? So let's just analyze. So now, if we do, uh, let me do this. So 3n minus 1. What does it mean? So let's analyze this. So this is it here. If so, this 3n simply means, so the n there is going to be replaced with what? Numbers. So if we start with 3, we start with, if the n starts with 0, we are going to start with 0. We just do 3 times is 0, then minus what? 1, which is equals to what? Is equals to minus 1. You see that now? Then we'll do the same thing too. We'll do the same thing. Okay, I'm coming. We'll do the same thing here. Okay. Do 3 times 2 minus what? 1. And that will be no, not 2. 3 times 3 minus 1. That should be 7. See that now? So now this is what it means here. You know, we can make the selection dynamic using different um end child formula or whatever. So here now, if you notice here, so minus 1 is not a number as it regards to selecting the list of items. There's no list of items there that is minus 1. So it starts from 1. You get that now? So this one is out of it. So it's going to start from 257. So let's say in the case now. So if you notice, they are all odd numbers, 257, but just no, not odd numbers. Not all are odd numbers. 2 is not the odd number. But if you notice there, can you see? You can decide, okay, I want to start from the second number. I want to select for the second number, select the fifth, and select what? The seventh. Can you see that now? You see? Very simple. And if you come here, look at what we have here. Can you see? Look at what we have here. Look at the difference, the list number of list we have to that is between these two styled lists. Can you see? Two. So that means that if you want to leave out two elements, if you want to leave out two elements in between the two styled list, you can use that kind of formula. And you can even do something like this. You can play around with it. You can do plus one instead. If you do plus one, let's see what we are going to get. Can you see? We are getting the other way around. So you can even make it 2 plus 1. You can do 2 plus 1. So you can play around with it as you like. Can you see? 2 plus 1 is giving us the odd number. 2 plus 1 is giving us the odd number. So if we do 2 minus 1, let's see if we are going to get the even. So can you see we are getting even. So you can manipulate it as you like. You can manipulate as you like. So that's that about the n child. Okay, not all. So let's say, for example, if you want to select the first child, so instead of using n child 1, if you want to select the first child, you can just do something like li and do first child like this. First child and that, okay, you don't need so just first child and give it the color of let's give it the color of this. No, I don't want this. We give it this particular color. Let me give it red. So if you save now, look at what we have. It's going to only select what? The first child. Can you see the color? And if you want to select the last child of the list, you can also do like this: li, then last what? Child. See that last child. Let me give you the color of yellow. Yes. If I give it yellow, it's going to only select the last child, and look at what we have here. You see that now? Simple. Very simple. So you can see how you can select elements, HTML elements like this without having to give it a different class name. You get that now? Do you
If it
understand
is
it?
medium, if you want to select middle class,
No. If you want to select the middle, you have to be specific. You have to use number instead of, there's no what do you call it? A selector for that. It will only have first child, last child. So if you want to select any other part
um,
that is different from first child and last child, you have to give it a number. You have to use this one here and say n child, then the child that you want to select, the number, the position of the child in his parents. So if it is position 2 or position 3 or position 4, you have to write it, indicate it, so it will select it. You get that? Do you understand that, Felicia?
yes, yes.
Okay, all right. So I think we are done with pseudo class selector. So let us look at pseudo element selector. Pseudo element selector. This is already taking our time. So let me remove this. So for pseudo element selector, pseudo element selector allows pseudo elements allow styling of parts of an element that aren't directly accessible in the DOM. So don't worry about DOM, that's JavaScript. JavaScript. So I'll be introducing a JavaScript course after the end of this web development bootcamp. So it's a paid course actually, but very, very affordable. So yeah, it says pseudo elements allow styling of parts of an element that aren't directly accessible in the DOM. They are denoted with a double column to differentiate them from pseudo classes. However, older CSS specifications allow single column for um, pseudo elements. So let's look at pseudo elements. So let's say, for example, now if you notice this input here is having a placeholder of enter your name. Let me make this coming. Where's the input? Yeah, this. Let me give it a margin top and bottom 30 pixel and a 0. So let's see. Good. So now notice the placeholder is having this value enter your name. But let's say if I want to alter this placeholder, like I want to make it capitalize, I want to make the text capitalize. What can I do? How can I even select the placeholder? To select the placeholder is very simple. All I just have to do is just do input double column then placeholder. Then here I can see, okay, I want text transform. So I can do text transform to be capitalized like this, and watch. Look at what we have. Can you see? It's capitalized. So whatever thing you want to do with this, what do you call it, with the placeholder, you can do with it. Whatever style you want to apply, you can apply. All right. So also let's say for this first paragraph here, this first paragraph, let me give it a class of um, let me give it bio. I just say bio. So I'm going to select it here. I'll say dot bio. So let's say I want to select the first line of this paragraph. I want to select the first line or the first letter of this paragraph and give it a different styling. I can actually do that using pseudo element selector. So you see, we have the first letter. So it styles the first letter of an element. Then we have the first line. It styles the first line of an element. So let's see. Let's start with first letter. So first letter, I want the font size to be very big. Let's make it 48 pixel. And I want the color to be this green here. And I want the font weight to be bold. Or let me use number. Let me make it like 700. Yeah. So let's see what we have here. Now can you see? I this H1 here. Can you see the H? Can you see the H there? Nice. I think I like this. All right. So that's that. So let me just um comment this one. Then the next one is the next one will be first line. So for the first line, I want to give it text transform. Is it text transform or font style? Yes, font style. I want to make it italic. I want to give it a color of this color. I want to also, I think it's okay. Let me just leave it like this. So now let's see what we have. Can you see? That's the first line. Good. That's the first line. All right, there's another one too, whereby if I, let's say for example, if I want to highlight all of this, if I highlight all of this now, can you see the background color of the highlight is what? Blue. But I don't want the background color of the highlight to be blue. I can do that too. I can say okay, dot bio, um double column, and I'll say I think it's selection. Yes, selection. I want the background color to be red, for instance. So now watch. So when I light all of this, can you see it's red? Hold on. Why is this showing the first? It's giving me the first. Let me comment this one. All right, good. So am I only having this? Oh, this one is not part of it. This to learn more about web development is the second paragraph. So all right. So can you see? It's a different color. So that's that. Now the next one I want to show you is the after and before pseudo element selector. We are going to look at it in details when we look at what do you call it when we start looking at positioning and all that. Looking at positioning and all that. So maybe probably we'll do that tomorrow or on Monday because I don't think my battery will be able to last me up to that time. So we'll have to shift that to tomorrow or next tomorrow. All right. So let's just finish um, pseudo element selector. Everything that has to do with pseudo. So now for the after or before, let's look at where is it? Yeah, the after or before. So yeah, now look at it says the before pseudo element inserts content before an element. Inserts content before an element. So let's say for example, I want to insert an emoji to this paragraph here, this second paragraph. I want to insert an emoji at the last part of this paragraph. So what am I going to do? I will I will give this a class and let me give it a class. The value should be hmm, or let me call it learn double double underscore then more. So I'll come here. I'll do dot learn more. So learn and more. So double column. After. I'll do after. So let's say now for the after. Which one is this one? Let's see. Mm, let's see that. Okay. Uh, I don't want that. All right. So now when you use after, because after or before, what it does is to help you insert content before an element or after an element. So now let's say we want to insert an emoji after this paragraph here. So to do that, I'm going to do content because you need content. The content attribute, then a double column here. So you have to specify the element you want to add. So I'm just going to do. So I want to use an emoji. So to for an emoji, I'll just type window. I'll hold on to window key, then dot. Window key, then dot. So whether for Mac users, it could be command and dot or whatever. So just look for it. So let me use rocket or something. Yes, let me use rocket here. So I'm going to add rocket here. Can you see that? If I save, let's see if we're going to have something like that here. Can you see rocket? Can you see the rocket? Good. That's for after. So let's look at before. Though we'll still we are not done with this yet. We'll look at it in details when we start doing positioning. You get that now? When we start doing positioning and all that, so you'll be able to appreciate the power of after and before pseudo element selector. So let me do before here. So for before, let's say I want, let me see what I can add for before. That's before this element. Let's say I want to add mm, I can add an image, I can add the content, I can add anything actually. So let me add something like a text. So I'm just going to call this content. I'll call it pretext. Since I can't think of anything in my head now, so I'll just call it pretext. So now watch when I do pretext. Look at what we have. Can you see pretext is showing there? So let me give it a color so that let me style it differently. So let me give it this color. So if you save, good. Can you see pretext? Good. Pretext. You see that it's showing nice. That's good. So I think that's that about pseudo classes and pseudo element. Like I said, in our next class, what I'll be discussing in details this particular topic here, where is it? Layout, positioning, transition, and transform. We are going to be looking at all of these. Then I'm going to explain. I'm going to then also look at the use case of after and pseudo elements, the after and the before property. So we are going to look at another use case of it. So once we touch CSS Flexbox, once we are done with CSS Flexbox and CSS Grid, we are going to build a project. Let me show you the project here. But hold on, let me pause the video. All right, so this is the project we are going to build after we've looked at after we've looked at positioning, transition, and transform, CSS Flex, and Grid. We're going to build this project. I saw this in the frontend.io. So we are going to build this. In fact, we are going to shoot beyond the 2 weeks web development bootcamp because there are a lot of things I really want to show you guys. You get that now. So look at what we have. We are going to build this. Can you see? Then build this. See this now. Also build it too. See? Okay, this one is the responsive part. We're going to look at this. This is simple anyways. It's very, very simple. So hopefully by Monday, um that will be the that will be 30th of December. On Monday, we should be done with layout and CSS Flexbox. Then we can look at that project before we look at responsive design. So we'll look at responsive design, then we can now um, attempt our final project for this web development bootcamp, which is this Asian Asian template here. So I'm going to look at this. So everything here, I'm going to look at this. So, but this is JavaScript. That will be for the paid course. So, but we're going to look at everything here. Everything here. So once we are done with this, then we'll end the bootcamp. All right. So I hope everything that we've done today, you understand it. So in our next class, like I said, we will continue from where we stop. We'll start positioning, transition, and transform. Then I think this should take us like an hour or so. Then we can look at CSS Flexbox and all. So that's all. We'll meet again hopefully tomorrow. So until then, bye bye. And please, if you are watching my YouTube channel for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and what? Comment. Thank you. Bye bye.